Okay, I thought this was hilarious. I came across a post on Instagram where a father says his daughter made $110 on her first lemonade stand.
That's good.
The father goes on to say, it turns out the customers were handing her $5 and $10 bills, and his daughter was actually saying thank you for the tip and keeping all the change.
Nice, smart lady.
This little girl is a true hustler. So ladies, I want to know, has anyone ever kept the change before you told them to? And do you tip others to help them out or to make yourself feel better?
Ooh. I mean, in this situation, I would have let her, but I give her, a $5 or $3.
Yes.
A whole 10?
Right?
That
Really?
lemonade came out of the mix, and you got my 10? No, I'm just kidding.
You know what? I'm a pretty good tipper, but I don't want you to assume that you can keep the tip.
Yes, of course. It's
Give it to me, and then I will give you what I want to give you. But if you say, oh, do you want any change? Then it's like you're putting me in a spot where now it's a kind of awkward and you know what I mean?
I think, and also the business of tipping, not only is that an awkward gesture, but sometimes there's just a lot of awkward gestures surrounded by tipping. Like we know to customarily tip for the doorman or the waiter.
Right.
But then now there's little things people will do at like nice places where they might have just like opened your car door and then they're like, and you're like, okay, and I hate when you're fumbling for the amount, but you don't want the big bills, but you're like, you don't want to chintz them, so you're not sure.
Right.
Oh, the whole thing makes me so.
I get mad at some places that ask for a tip. Like, you go to I'm gonna say a juicery.
Yeah.
It's a famous juicery, and as you're checking out, you ain't did nothing. I mean, I went and got the juice.
Waitress.
Right. It wasn't any service.
Right.
But you go ask me for 22% off of with already an expensive juice. I'm like,
or already pre-made juice that they're just sometimes grabbing.
Yeah, it's not like they made anything. And I'm just like,
it's on the iPad and it automatically does the 15, 20, 25.
Yes.
Also, guys, have you noticed that it used to be like 15, 20, 22, and now it's like more, no,
doesn't it? 50%.
I've seen a place at 30.
Do you guys tip though? Like I tip when I leave a hotel room. I always give tip for the maid.
Yeah.
But do you guys tip your cleaners? Because I was talking to Corey, our producer, and he goes, I tip the cleaners. And I go,
if you do a service for me, I do tip.
But what about like when you get presented with that iPad tip, I hate when they're watching you. So it's like,
I know,
it's weird. So they're like, okay,
know.
did you want to add a tip? And she's watching you dead in the eye. So you're like, 25, 30%? Okay. You know what I mean? That's so weird.
Tip, but,
Guys,
it depends.
I always do when you do like Uber Eats or Postmates, they ask you, do you want to tip prior to? And I feel like this person's bringing my food, so I do it the max.
Absolutely.
So that they bring my food and don't spit in it.
I do the same thing.
This is a service I tip. Okay, ladies, how about this? An article on scarymommy.com discusses the importance of a friendship audits. The article said that when you visit and revamp your friendships, the ultimate goal of the audit is to ensure the promise of your friendships that they haven't been broken. So the question here is, do you think it's a good idea to take inventory of your friendships every year? Do you do this? And how does one start a friendship audit?
I mean, is it this official? Do you actually sit there and like once a year
not
they
every
say,
year.
yeah, I don't know if I sit there and I intentionally, I'm like, all right, let me look at these bitches here. I'm not like that. But I do think you kind of, once in a while in your life, you look at your friends and you're like, is this really good for me?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, for sure. But David, you have that many friends that you can make a whole list and audit? I feel like you might not understand like really deep friendships. I think there's different categories of friends. Like you have friends that you party with, friends that you're friendly with, and then you have friends that like, if something happens to you at 3 o'clock in the morning and there's an emergency, you know they're gonna answer the phone and be there for you.
But
that's the point of this, because I've done so many audits by my age. My friends are like on one hand. Same.
Yeah.
That's what I was gonna say. Like, how many friends you got that you hear auditing?
Yeah. But I think, you know what, every now and then you do a little spring cleaning.
Yeah.
Right.
And so you go, is this relationship healthy? Does this friend really show up for me?
Yes.
Are you going to take, like after COVID, I feel like we've all sort of reassessed who are the important friends, who are the not important friends, or not that important. And I think that's what this means, right? It's just checking.
Who can I live without seeing for a really long time?
Yeah. But when you do the audit, though, do you tell them if you let them go?
Ooh.
No.
Oh, you don't?
You don't.
Because I'd like to say that like before there's ghosting, because I think ghosting is straight up rude. I think there's drifting. You can drift. You can drift a little
like
distance,
drifting.
a little
I like
COVID,
drifting.
I drift.
a little something.
I
Just
drift.
makes
Whoa,
us
what's
drift a bit.
drifting? You just
It's kind of like the calls are longer in between.
Yeah.
You don't have lunch anymore.
You don't have to answer that text so quickly.
Yeah.
really.
Yeah, you take your time with it. You don't reach out as much. You just kind of allow the natural space come between the two of you.
Right.
So what if they come at you and be like, "Hey, I haven't heard from you. What do you do then?"
And that actually tells me why I drifted, because you're definitely not gonna come at me
Oh, damn.
in a way that makes me feel some type of way. That literally will make me be like, oh, we not drifting. I'm full on swimming the opposite direction.
What is the conversation though? Like if you
true, yeah.
drifted and a person calls you, like
And says, hey, what's up? And I think it's okay to say, oh no, like I genuinely just don't think we're in the same place anymore. We're not in the same space anymore. I feel like we've outgrown each other.
Right.
Have you been hitting me up lately? Because I feel like we don't really have that anymore, do you?
Or you can say I'm really busy, and then people know, like, you make time for the people you care about.
Yes.
right.
You know what I mean?
I try not to do the passive, like I really am working
You really
on
want
not,
them to know.
Yeah, like I try to be very upfront and straightforward in the sense of like, hey, I feel like we've kind of grown apart, no?
Oh no, but then then it's like,
But you're
let's work
opening your-
on it. Let's
that's
see each
50-50.
other.
I'm not doing
Girl,
it.
no.
I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it.
It's
You know,
better.
they say a great way to audit is to actually go through your phone and see who you've spoken to. Like, who's in the last...
on your text.
Yes, your text message. Who are the last people that you've spoken to? I think
That's
they said in
true.
the last 14 days. And if it's someone that's not in there, like, for over a month or two, like, move on.
Oh, wow.
I think 14 days is a little extreme.